हरि ओम। ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम। हरि ओम। We shall chant the Shanti mantra. ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम हरि ओम We shall chant the mantras from the beginning. ॐ केनेषितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणप्रथमप्रतियुक्तः केनेषितां वाचमिमां वदन्ति चक्षुश्रोत्रं कौ देवो युनक्ति श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनो यत् वाचोह वाचं सौ प्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषश्चक्षुः अतिमुच्यधीराः प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकाद् अमृता भवन्ति न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाग्गच्छति नो मनो न विद्मो न विजानीमो यथैतद् अनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदितात् अथो अविदितात् अधि इति शुश्रूम पूर्वेषां येनस्तद्व्यचचक्षिरे यद्वाचानभ्युदितं येन वागभ्युद्यते तदेव ब्रह्म त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते यन्मनसा न मनुते येनाहुर्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्म त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते हरि ओम. So this Kena Upanishad begins with a question of a sincere seeker. Okay, what is that? Who is the one who, by whose will and directed by whom, does our senses function and our mind functions? Means what is there behind our mind, behind our senses, because of which they function, because all of them are matter only. So there must be something independent propelling the senses and the mind. So the answer to this question is Brahma. But just by uttering that name Brahma will not convey anything. So the Upanishad is indicating that Brahma through various means. So that Brahma is indicated as the year of the year, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Mano Yat Vachoha Vacham Sahu Pranasya Pranaha Chakshusha Chakshuhu. In this way, it is indicated as the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, because it cannot be directly defined, directly pointed out, because it doesn't have any quality of its own, it doesn't have any activity of its own, therefore it cannot be directly pointed out. Also, we gain knowledge through our senses, we gain knowledge with the help of our mind and intellect, but the senses and mind intellect have their own limitations. They cannot reach that Brahma. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, the eyes cannot see that Brahma. Because one who is seeing behind the eye itself is Brahma. The Vani cannot speak about that Brahma. That which gives the ability for the Vani to speak itself is Brahma. The mind also cannot reach that Brahma. So the teacher says, Na vidmo, we don't know that Brahma, means we don't know how to convey that Brahma. We don't know how to teach that Brahma. Na vijanimo yatha etad anushishyad. We don't know how to teach that Brahma, means there is no worldly way of teaching that Brahma. Because we interact and we exchange knowledge which we know through our senses, through our mind. All that we know in this world is known through our senses, our mind, through inference, through assumptions, through comparisons. So with various means, praman, we know. So all the knowledge which we have gained is about the world, but the same praman cannot reach that Brahma. So Brahma cannot be pointed out by any worldly means. So then, is it just a theory? Is it just a concept? Is it just some vague idea? Says no. That Brahma is a fact and it is conveyed by the Upanishad. Only through the Upanishad we come to know that Brahma. Therefore, Upanishads are called the Praman, the only Praman to know Brahma. They are called Shastra Praman or Agama Praman. So here the teacher is quoting the Upanishad, and through this quotation, the teacher is indicating that Brahma. So what is the quotation? कि अन्यद एव तद विदिताद अथो अविदिताद adhi. That Brahma is different from the known, and it is also different from the unknown. This is the indicator. One has to contemplate on this sentence to realize that Brahma. See, like in our mathematics also, there are certain, in geometry and all, certain problems are given. For example, there is one problem where they say that a segment of a line, let us say a line is there which is 10 centimeters, A and B, 10 centimeters from point A to point B. So the problem is given that discover C. But what can you talk about C? C is a point. So discover a point C. But where is that C point? It is above this line, somewhere in the space. But you have to give some indication. So the indication is given from the known. So from A, that point C is about 5 centimeters. And from point B, it is about 10 centimeters. So you draw an arc 5 centimeters, you draw an arc 10 centimeters, and where it meets, that is the point C. So we discover it. That point is not seen. What we know is this segment only and all the points on this segment. But the point C is unknown, unknowable. So with the help of this, it is pointed out. Similarly, with the help of this world and with the help of our experiences, that Brahma is pointed out. So how is that Brahma pointed out in this sentence? That Brahma is different from the known and it is different from the unknown. Now let us think about this sentence. See, what does it mean, known? How do we know something? We know things through our senses using the various praman we know, like direct perception, inference, comparison, assumptions. We know certain things. So suppose I know an object. So that object is called known. But I may not know many things. But there are other people who know. So wherever, whoever knows anything, that object is called known, vidit. Whether a human being knows, animal knows, the devta knows, all that is known is called vidit. And what is this Brahma? Different from the vidit, different from the known. Then there are many things in this world which are unknown. But later on we come to know about them. So there are unknown and they become knowable. Lot of things which were not known to human beings. Then we came to know about them. Lot of discoveries are made in the field of science. So they were unknown before and now we know them. But there are certain things which remain unknown. And what is that? The unmanifest cause of this world, what we call Prakriti or Avyakta, that remains unknown at all times. So that Brahma is different from this unknown and Brahma is different from the known. So what exactly does it mean different? Let us say I know this pen. So what is different from this pen? What is involved in knowing the pen? I am there, the knower, the pen is there, and there is what you call knowing the pen, the knowledge is there. So I, the knower, is knowing this pen. So when I know the pen, the knower always is different from the known. All that is known, the knower is always different from that known. And wherever anything is known, the knowers are there, they are different from the known. So I, the knower, is different from the known. But there are things which I don't know. There are unknown things I don't know. So what is different from that unknown? Again, I am different from the unknown. So I, the Atma, is different from the known and different from the unknown also. And wherever, whoever knows anything, it is the Atma alone which knows. Wherever anyone knows or doesn't know, it is the Atma alone which is the knower. So that knower which is present in all is what is called, indicated as Brahma. So that Brahma is different from the known and different from the unknown. Means my own innermost self, the Shuddha Atma, not the ego, not the mind, not the body. The Shuddha Atma is different from the known and unknown. And that Atma itself is pointed out as Brahma. So by this statement of the Upanishad, कि अन्यदेव तद विदितात् अथो अविदितात् adhi, the Shuddha Atma is pointed out, which is itself is Brahma. And the teacher says, iti shushruma purvesham. This is how we have gained this knowledge. This is how we have recognized this Atma from our teachers, purvesham. This is how they have taught us. Ye nastad vachachakshire. This is how they revealed the truth to us. And that alone is pointed out again in so many verses as that Brahma cannot be described with our speech. Means the speech cannot reach Brahma, but it is that Brahma because of which speech can speak. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. You understand that as Brahma and not this which you are worshipping. Yad idam upasate. See, when we do upasana, I, the knower, I, the doer, I, the enjoyer, does the upasana. So there is this object of upasana which uh, I know from the Shastras. The Shastras, they talk about the Prana Upasana, Hiranyagarbha Upasana, or the Vaishvanara Upasana, or also nowadays we do the Pratika Upasana. We invoke the presence of that Ishvara in a Pratik, a Murti, a Ganapati, or a Devi, or a Shivalinga, or Shaligrama. So we invoke the presence of Bhagwan in that Pratik. Avahan we do, then we offer asana, padyam, arghyam, achamaniyam, snanam, vastram, etc. We do the entire puja, that is the upasana, the pratika upasana. So the object of our upasana is also known. Therefore, it is not Brahma, because Brahma is different from the known and different from the unknown also. So the object of our upasana is not Brahma. We go to the temple, we do namaskar to that murti, but that murti is not Brahma. That devta is not Brahma. Here one should be careful that here upasanas are not negated, but our attention is shifted to that Brahma. Upasanas are important sadhana for purification of our mind to gain that single pointedness. But that alone is not Brahma. After gaining purification, we have to contemplate on this statement of the Upanishad. कि अन्यदेव विदितात् अथो अविदितात् adhi. That Brahma is different from the known and different from the unknown also. Tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. Again, in the next mantra, the Upanishad says that Brahma cannot be thought of by the mind. The Brahma cannot become the object of the mind's thinking. The mind thinks with the help of words, sentences, images. That is how our mind thinks. But Brahma cannot be put into any word. Brahma cannot be put into any sentence or any image because Brahma doesn't have any qualities, doesn't have any action. So mind cannot think of Brahma, but that because of which the mind can think, that because of which the mind has got the capacity to think, that is Brahma. Yena ahur manomatam. So Brahma is the mind of the mind. It is that because of which the mind is a mind. Mind can mind. Tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. That you understand as Brahma and not this what you are worshipping. Because your worship is also in the field of Dvaita. Your worship is also in the field of ignorance. Once one gains the realization of that Brahma, then there remains no division of any kind. There is no difference between worshipper and the worshipped. So, Nedam Yadidam Upasate, Brahma is not that which you are worshipping. Then further we will chant verse mantra number 6. Yat chakshusha na pashyate येन चक्षुगंसि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्म त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते. Again, यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुगंसि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्म त्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते. यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति. What is that Brahma? Brahma is that which cannot be seen with our eyes. See, one is we can see a lot of things with our eyes. And there are things which are difficult for the eyes to see. We use certain equipment. For example, there are very minute things which cannot be seen with our eyes directly. So we use a magnifying glass, and with that we look, and then we are able to see. Or if it is even still finer, then we use a microscope and we see. And if it is even finer than that, we can use even electron microscope. But whatever we see, whether it is a very, very subtle things we see, what we see is not Brahma. Even things which are very far away we can see. If it is difficult, we use some telescope to see. But however far away things we see, that is also not Brahma. Because what we see is only a form. What we see is color. That is not Brahma. But in that, Brahma is hidden. That is not Brahma doesn't mean it is an illusion. The world is not an illusion. The world is not mithya. But world itself, what we see is not Brahma. Brahma is hidden in this world. Just as when we see a pot, what we see is a form, but the clay is hidden in this form. See, in this example, we can, with our eyes, we can see the pot and we can see the clay also. But in case of this world, with our eyes, we can see the world, but with our eyes, we cannot see Brahma. But this world is not mithya. World is expression of that Brahma only, but Brahma is hidden. So all that we see with our eyes is not Brahma. Then who is Brahma? Brahma is that because of which these eyes can see. Brahma is the very eye of these eyes. Brahma is that because of which eye has got the capacity to see. Hmm? Like a mirror. The mirror doesn't have the capacity to see by itself. But when I look into the mirror, then my reflection of my eyes fall in the mirror. And that reflection of my eyes get the capacity to see as though. So even things which are behind the wall, if I place the mirror in a strategic position, then my eyes get reflected in the mirror, and those eyes they see behind the wall. I cannot see directly behind the wall, but my eyes expressing in the mirror get the capacity to see. Similarly, these eyes, these ears, by themselves are inert, but because of that Brahma, it gets the capacity to see, to hear. So Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, that is Brahma, that you recognize as Brahma. Nedam Yadidam Upasate, and not this which you are worshipping. See, we have in our Shastras many sadhanas are given. But these sadhanas are like stepping stones. They are like the steps on a ladder. If you want to climb a ladder, you step on that what you call the rung. Then you leave the lower rung and you climb on that higher one. That is the method. Then you leave that and climb still higher. That is how it is done. Similarly, following the path of dharma is one step, but then following the path of karma yoga is a higher step. Then doing upasana is a still higher step. Then gaining that self-knowledge is a higher step. Meditating is still higher step till we gain that abidance in our own self. So upasana is a step. Upasana is not the final destination. Worshipping Ishvara in different forms is a step. It is not the final goal. When we worship, we purify our mind, and if we worship with kamana, then we acquire a lot of punya and we can go to higher worlds. But that is not the ultimate destination. So, Nedam Yadidam Upasate. Brahma is not that which you are worshipping. Brahma is different from the known and different from the unknown. Brahma is you yourself. Further, the Upanishad says, mantra number 7, Yashrotrena na shrunoti, yena shrotram idagam shrutam, tadeva brahmatvam viddhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Once more, Yashrotrena na shrunoti, yena shrotramidagam shrutam, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. What is that Brahma? What is that Shuddha Atma? Shuddha Atma is Brahma. See, that Shuddha Atma itself is experienced as Jagrat Atma, Swapna Atma, Sushupta Atma. But it is experienced along with its upadhis. But that Shuddha Atma is that Brahma. So what is that? Yashrotrena na shrunoti. It is that which cannot be heard with our ears. Again, our ears have great capacity to hear sound. Though we have our own limitations. A human being can hear only within certain hertz. Hmm? Some 20 to 20,000 or something. So only a limited frequency we can hear the sound. If it is beyond that frequency or below that frequency, we cannot hear. Certain sound the dogs can hear, but humans cannot hear. Even the various waves are like sound only. Therefore, certain waves and all are heard by some birds and some creatures, and they get disturbed by that. So whatever we hear, or whatever whoever hears, is just an expression of the Akash Tattva, the sound. So Akasha Karyena Dig Devata Adhisthitena. The Dig Devata is the Devata of these years, and the expression of Akash itself is the sound, whether it is the subtlest sound or a loud sound, everything is the expression of Akash. So whatever we hear is not Brahma. So don't try to listen to Brahma. See, there are people who are doing all sorts of foolish experiments to find out exactly what is this Atma, what is this Brahma. So they do a lot of experiment on the body also and try to find out when a person dies what leaves the body, whether it can be heard, it can be noticed through some equipments. They do experiments. But whatever we hear, whether directly with our ears or with the help of some equipments, is not Brahma. Then who is Brahma? Yena Shrotram Idagam Shrutam. It is that by which these ears can hear. Brahma is that because of which the ears have the capacity to hear. Okay, let me give another example. For example, wind. Huh? Sometimes the wind blows so strongly. Recently, even in Delhi, it became very windy. Hmm. And in some places in Orissa and all, we had this storm. So when you look out of your window and if you try to see the wind, can you see the wind? You cannot see the wind. But sometimes you just look out of the window and say, "Oh, it is very windy today." How do you know? Says this, I can see the trees moving, but those are trees. Trees are not wind. Trees are not wind. So if the trees are moving, very nice. But how do you say the wind is moving? The Actually the trees are moving because of the wind only. The trees themselves are not wind, but that because of which the trees are moving is wind, which cannot be seen directly. Similarly, what is heard is not Brahma, but that because of which we can hear is Brahma. It's the most mysterious. This whole body is made up of matter, but you are there in this matter. You are present. If you are not present, this matter will not be able to survive even for a second. Because of your presence, the mind can think, the eyes can see. Such a big miracle it is. A person is sleeping, let us say your friend is sleeping, and you go to meet your friend, but he can't see you, he can't hear you. So you try to open his eyes, but even if you open his eyes, he will not be able to see you. So somebody asks you, did you meet your friend? No, I did not meet my friend. Arre, but you were there. I saw his body, but he was not there. He was asleep. Asleep means where was he? Where is he? Don't know. But but his body is there. His breathing is going on, but he is not there. Means he is not expressing. He is hidden somewhere. So you shake him and wake him up. And when he wakes up, he opens his eyes and he sees you. So the one who is seeing is that Atma. The one who is seeing, which is making the eyes see, which is making the mind think. That is the Atma. But it itself cannot be seen with the eyes, it itself cannot be thought of with the mind. It cannot be defined in any way. Huh? So, yash shrotrena shrunoti, that which yash shrotrena na shrunoti, that which cannot be heard with our ears, but yena shrotram idagam shrutam, but that by which the ears are heard, means ears have the capacity to hear. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, that you know as Brahma. Nedam Yadidam Upasate, and not this which you are worshipping. Don't try to put that Brahma into some idea, some concept, some image. Whatever image, however sublime and divine image you form, that is not Brahma. You may have the most glorious image in your mind, that is not Brahma. If you define, whatever you can imagine, whatever you can put into your mind is not Brahma. That becomes known. And Brahma is totally different from the known. And it is different from that unknown also. It is the very knower behind all that is known and unknown. Nedam yadidam upasate. Then one more mantra. Similar mantras are there, these 4, 5 mantras. So mantra number 8. Yat pranena na pranite, yena prana praniyate, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Once more. Yat pranena na pranite, yena prana praniyate, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Yat pranena na praniti, that which cannot be, that which is not the object of the pranas. Here the pranas are taken, should be taken as our what you call organ of smelling. Ghrana. Yat pranena granena parthivena nasika putantaravastitena, which is the organ of smell, nose. We have the capacity to smell. See, all these 5 sense organs are most amazing. The more you can think and contemplate on them, the more amazing you will find them. We can smell. If what you call, if you open your window and then you get a nice breeze and you get a nice fragrance also, and you can get the fragrance of some flowers. Then you look out of your window and you see the garden, and lot of lovely flowers are blooming there, and the wind passing through that garden is reaching your window, and you are getting that beautiful fragrance. What is this fragrance? Actually, very minute particles of that flower passes uh, through the humid, what you call, atmosphere there. So very fine droplets of water carries those very, very subtle particles which spread out everywhere, and which, when which enters our nose, we can get the fragrance. Even in our house, in some corner, if some mouse or some creature dies, then you start getting that foul smell. So the whole room starts smelling. Then the whole house smells. Then you go in search, where is it? Where is it? Then you remove some of your things which were stored here and there and has made the clutter there. And then finally in a corner, you see that dead rat, dead mouse. So some material is spreads all over the house, enters your nose, and you can get the smell. So the smell is the expression of Prithvi Tattva, the earth. So Akash has got sound, Vayu has got touch, Agni has got form or color, water has got taste, and this earth has got smell. So when it reaches our nose, we can get the smell. So this, how can we smell? Because our organ of smelling is made from the same Prithvi Tattva only. It is made from the Prithvi Tattva. But it gets that ability to smell because it is also blessed by the mind, by the Antakarana. If the Antakarana is not available, then the nose will not be able to smell. So the mind blesses the nose, and the mind itself is blessed by the buddhi. The buddhi is blessed by the ahankar. The ahankar is blessed by the avyakta prakriti. But this avyakta prakriti is also blessed by that Brahma. This prakriti is the prakriti of Brahma. It is that Brahma which is making this prakriti move and function. Just as the wind which makes the tree moves, similarly it is Brahma which makes the buddhi know, the mind feel, the senses perceive, because that Brahma is of the nature of knowledge. It is jnanam. That jnanam itself get expressed through all these senses. But we feel that the senses know, senses do not know. Brahma knows. Mind do not know. Brahma knows. Hmm. So yat pranena na praniti. What is that Brahma? Brahma is that which can't be smelt through our nose, but it is that because of which the nose has got the ability to smell. Yena prana praniyate. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. That you understand as Brahma. Nedam yadidam upasate. Not this which you are worshipping here. So, Brahma is different from the known, different from the unknown. This is how it is pointed out. So what should we do? How can we realize that Brahma? So here now in the story, that seeker has approached this teacher and had asked this question, and the teacher had replied. Now in the second section, that student approaches the again he talks to the teacher, tells the teacher that I have understood that Brahma very well. सुवेदिति ब्रह्म को जान लिया मैंने. You have you had taught me about that Brahma, And having known that Brahma, one gains immortality. This knowing Brahma is not what you call fruitless. One who knows Brahma becomes immortal. One who knows Brahma becomes free of the samsara. One who knows Brahma becomes free of all sorrow, pain, fear, trouble. So the student approaches the teacher and tells that I know that Brahma very well. मैंने जान लिया ब्रह्म को. So teacher tests the disciple. It's a very beautiful mantra. The next section, the teacher tests the disciple. The teacher wants to know whether this disciple has really understood or just he has misunderstood. And he tests the disciple. How he tests, we will see. Shankaracharya ji writes quotes from Chandogya Upanishad also. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is a story of Virochan and Indra Bhagwan approaching Brahmaji to gain this self-knowledge. But Virochan, both of them were taught by Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, the greatest teacher. So Hiranyagarbha, Brahma taught Virochan and Indra together, same classroom, direct one-to-one, not online classes. Nowadays we have these online classes, I don't see you. So I'm just talking here alone. Luckily, I know that you are watching, but otherwise, I don't see you, anyone. I don't see your expression. If you write a comment and do something, then I will know. I had also mentioned that you tried this experiment of pendulum. I don't know how many of you have done. So you may write in the comment if you have done. So Brahmaji taught Virochan and Indra. And Virochan, he said, I understood Brahma. Very clear. And he took his body, his physical body itself as Brahma. And he went home. हो गया मेरी पढ़ाई खत्म हो गई सब समझ में आ गया but Indra he did not leave he had questions he had doubts he said I don't think I have understood it properly please teach me again and Brahma taught him and finally Indra Bhagwan came to know. So similarly here the disciple approaches the teacher and he says, I have understood Brahma. समझ में आ गया. So teacher tests him and then finds out that he really doesn't know Brahma. He has misunderstood. But then the teacher guides him and then he comes to know the Brahma properly. So that is what we have to learn. That is how we have to gain that realization of that Brahma. That we will see in this next section in our next class. Next class will be on Monday. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and do this experiment, and do some contemplation at home, and try to understand what is being taught. Otherwise, you will be left behind. Because this is like a flow of the river. It keeps on flowing like Gangaji. Gangaji keeps on flowing. She doesn't wait. So we should take benefit of Gangaji by taking a dip into her. She doesn't wait for anyone. Similarly, this satsang Ganga is happening. हाँ, ये बहती धारा है, इसमें डुबकी लगाओ, ज्ञान प्राप्त करो. Otherwise, you might be left behind. So listen, contemplate, understand, meditate, and realize this Brahma. Okay? And we shall, if you realize, then you can come and tell also that you have realized. Then you need not attend the classes. And we shall meet again on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. जय जय राम. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.